All right, welcome back to another episode of Knicks Morning Coffee Recap. Okay, as we all know, last night the Knicks defeated the Boston Celtics for the second time in last night's game by just a bucket. Now, we have to look at, could this be an omen? All of the lower seeds, for the first time in history, all four of the lower seeds won their first game on the road. Now, that's never happened before, so could that be a sign of something that's good to come? Well, as of right now, we went up 2 on the Boston Celtics. Not sure if Indiana went up 2 on Cleveland yet, but that's something to keep our eye on because either one of those can be a formidable matchup for us. But right now, we still have our hands full with the Celtics, and the Knicks did not disappoint. Now, one thing I want to jump into, though, is right to the 6-minute mark of the game. All right, because Boston went up 20 again, where it would kind of seem doom and gloom. But we knew the Knicks would make a run. It's just that what would we have left after we did, and how much could we close the gap? And lo and behold, again, by the time it got to the 6-minute mark, we had cut the lead to 10. And during that span, who was quiet the whole game offensively was that Mikal Bridges came alive. Now, to borrow a line from Clyde, Brunson provided the inspiration, but it was Mikal who provided the devastation. And then that's what it was. He came alive, and he kind of like said, okay, I got this. And I love the fact that the Knicks were recognizing that he had a hot hand, and they were giving him the ball off of screens and also isoing him, giving him a chance to make a move or make a play. So that was great up for kudos to Tibbs for recognizing that, and then also for Brunson not feeling like he had to do it all himself. I also love the fact that in that last 6-minute mark, we played the chess game with them. We kept Mitch out there so that they can get in foul trouble. They went to hack a Mitch, and rather than just pull Mitch out, we left him in there, so now we're in the bonus. So that was a nice chess move by Thibodeau. It was also nice that he brought Mitch back in the game so we still could control the boards and have a two-headed monster out there. Now, while I still don't like the way Towns is playing defense, backpedaling. I like his help defense, but I don't like his man-on-man defense. It looks like he's not giving maximum effort. But I still believe for us to succeed, Towns' presence is going to have to be felt in this series. But it seems like right now, at least in the box scores, it's not there. But I'm pretty sure by the way he's moving around, they're paying attention to him. And maybe that's creating for somebody else. But I would like to see Towns have dominant game, especially being that Porzingis didn't start the game. And that gave us a chance right there to take advantage of his height. And we really didn't do that. Josh Hart had a solid game again for us. I would love his jump shot to start clicking and just take away the mystery of that pick and roll between him and Brunson, where Brunson could throw it automatically. It just seems like we're missing that outside shooter, although we're shooting well from the outside from 3. But that dead-eye shooter, for some reason, we don't have it in this series. Actually, we haven't really had it in the playoffs. We just had hot hands. And when you take a look over there at what DiVincenzo is doing in Minnesota, hitting clutch shots and penetrating and doing his thing, it just lets Mikal Bridges know, I hear the rumors and I got to stay on top of this. But his defensive assignment is superb. 2 games in a row, he gets the last-minute steal that pretty much seals the game for us. So we can't take nothing away from what he's doing. We know if we call upon him on the offensive end, he's going to deliver. Some of the timely hoops he's not hitting on the threes, but we have to take it because what he's suspended on the defensive end is something that we can't really ask any man to do. And I saw a stat the other day that said not only was Brunson the clutch player in the last 5 minutes in the NBA this year, that Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby are the clutch defensive players in the closing minutes of tight games this year. I didn't even know that was a stat that even exists, but we'll take it because if you remember, this team was constructed to contend with the Boston Celtics. And not only are we contending with the Boston Celtics, we're beating the Boston Celtics. So now we can get greedy if we want. I mean, it'd be nice to go home and split, but hey, let's think about it. We can go home and close it out. Stranger things have happened, right? Boston getting swept. We're not even looking at it as a sweep. We're looking at it as taking care of business. And then later on, we could brag about something like that. But the Knicks are sitting in a good spot. You're not going to keep digging yourself out of a 20-point hole. But what you can do is stick to your game plan and don't give up and don't abandon it. And that seems like what they're doing. They're leaving it all out on the floor. I give credit to every player that stepped on the court last night who contributed to this win. Even the bench that didn't play, if you look at how they was cheering the guys on, standing up and rooting for them, all that's energy, especially on the road. Like, we're not taking 20,000 people in the Garden with us to Boston, but those 15 guys and 9 or 10 that sits on that bench is enough, and it helped. And I'm pretty sure that energy translated, because what OG was able to do and what Mikal Bridges was able to do last night, I had to clap my hand to him and take a bow. And we can't give up what the captain is doing. Brunson is doing all he can to keep us in these games. So now if there's any discrepancy on, is he one of them dudes? He one of them dudes. So I think everybody will agree with that, especially going into the off season. He's one of the heroes of the NBA. So you can't take that away from him. He's showing it in big moments. And in clutch time when we need it, he's pulling up right in their grill. He's not a great defender, but he's staying with the assignment even when he's on Tatum. Okay, they can shoot over him. It's when they go behind him is when I get worried. But as long as he can keep them in front of him enough to get a little bit of help, that's all we can ask for. So Tibbs, you did a masterful job last night, keeping the Knicks focused, keeping the assignment in their head and ahead of time so that we were able to put ourselves in a position to win the game. And that's all you can ask for on the road. And I didn't even really care if we won last night. I said, unless we're closed down the stretch. So when we got closed down the stretch, that's what it was. Knicks came through. So, I'd like to hear what a lot of y'all would have to say. Who else would be the hero besides Brunson and Mikal? Somebody seen something different. I always like to play the game within the game, but I got to give credit to every single guy that stepped on that floor and the guys on the bench. All right? Like, comment, subscribe. Let's go Knicks.